This is a clip from the hashtag Han and Suraya Personal Finance ChitChat organized by Bank Negara Malaysia and Financial Education Network. Basically, Han and I answered questions we received from the audience. You can find the full clip in the description box. Enjoy!
Please share practical tips, what and how, do's and don'ts on money management moving into new norm.
Ooh, this is a very, very broad, big question.
Yes.
Okay.
Give me your best.
If you take nothing from this session today, I hope just three things, and hopefully these three things should help, regardless of what situation, what new normal. We're not even sure what a new normal looks like, but hopefully these three things help. In terms of money management, right? The first is pay yourself first, or pay yourself also. So a lot of people, what a lot of people do is when they think about savings, is okay, I'll live my life and then I'll save whatever is left, right? Which is fine, and if you are able to do that. But what a lot of people end up doing is that they forget that there's a lot of expenses which you can't see on a month-to-month basis, and then they end up not having much savings because those big yearly things get in the way, right? The holidays, the car insurance payments, the stuff that comes once a year. So for me, the best tip in terms of it will automatically help you manage your money better, especially when it comes to savings, is treat yourself like a Netflix bill, right? You pay Netflix, for example. I pay Netflix, right? It's like $50 a month, right? And it's my kind of like my vice. I like to watch Netflix, right? And the Netflix bill payment goes out on time every month, right? So if nothing else, treat yourself like Netflix. Sorry, or Astro, or your telco bill, whatever your vice is.
Whichever is automatic.
Whichever is something that you go like, well, I pay for it, right? Like it's just something that you do anyway. Treat your future like something that you do anyway. So set up a direct debit to a locked away savings account or a locked away diversified investment portfolio, and just forget about it. Just like you forget about your Netflix payment, or your Astro payment or whatever, or your utility bill. And that will immediately put you on a better path versus previously. The second is, in terms of money management, is when you're budgeting, right, and figuring out how much of that, how much should I pay myself, essentially, or pay my savings account, is don't forget about the yearly things. A lot of people do a budget. It's very easy to do a monthly budget, right? Which is I earn X, I spend this on petrol, on parking, on my car installments, my home installments. Okay, I should have Y at the end of the month. Most people forget about the yearly stuff. So when you're doing your budgeting, top tip, don't forget the yearly stuff. Divide it by 12 and add it to your monthly budgeting. And the last, I guess, particularly important for younger people is the start early 50-20 rule. I don't know if many people are familiar with that. But basically, if you're able to save 50 ringgit a day for 20 years, you will be a millionaire. So it doesn't matter who you are, right? You can be, like I said, that CEO, a student, gig worker. If you're able to save 50 ringgit a day, does not sound like a lot when you put it down that way. You will be a millionaire in 20 years with a diversified long-term portfolio. So for me, just those three things. Hopefully that helps you with saving, budgeting, and investing.
Very, very practical. I like all that. In addition to that, okay, putting on my communications background here, it is extremely practical if you also learn how marketing and psychology works. Behavioral science is a big indication of how a person behaves with money management. And I'll give you one very simple example here. No matter how diligent you are with saving money all your life for years, right? It only takes one scammer to find you at your most vulnerable moment and all your savings are gone. And this has happened to countless people right now. And it's extremely sad. Another example that I can share with you right now are some people, they are naturally more friendlier than others. They find it hard to say no to themselves, to other people. You are an amazing person to be around with. You are the glue to your friendship groups. You do everything, you organize everything. You like having harmony. And women tend to be these figures. But when there are people who want to take advantage of you, can you lend me money? Can you co-sign this with me? Can you give me this or that? Can you sign this away? And people take advantage of you. It doesn't matter if you're diligent, but when you do this, if you accidentally fell for these things, then it is quite hard to dig yourself back out of it, but not impossible, but it is hard. So when I say marketing, there are whole industries out there, billion-dollar industries, sales and marketing agencies. They are trained to find out, to use your psychology against you, to find out what are your spending triggers, how can they get you to say yes. So it is up to you to put up your defenses and learn how to say no. So
I love that tip so much, right? Because it goes at the heart of what I believe, which is it should be your life, right? And you mentioned billions of companies, billions of ringgit out there. Their job is to take money from you in exchange for their product. Your job is to make it as hard as possible for that to happen, right? And to go, okay, look, I'm willing to part you with my money for this thing, but only because I want to, not because you want me to. I think I love that very much. That's a very empowering message.